Hello, everybody, and welcome to Silent Podcast, the place that where everything but silent. I'm your host Isaiah, and I'm here with my co-host Ganjo,
What's Gucci? How's it going?
Cheyenne,
Hey y'all, I am live tweeting as I speak.
and Jeanette.
Hey.
And we are here to talk about week 4 of Big Brother Canada. Sarah unfortunately could not be here because she's out of town and bad Wi-Fi and all that stuff. But you know what? We're going to just adjust. We're here. We're chilling on this fine Friday night. Before we get into like any specifics, guys, how do we feel about the week so far? How do we feel about the game this season? How are you guys enjoying Big Brother Canada 9?
I really felt like this week was very calm. Overall, I am really enjoying this season a lot because of how the sides played out. Even though they forced us with two sides, two roaring sides emerged within that. This week has been calm because I kind of knew Kyle was gonna go home, or I felt it. I feel like they felt it as well. But I feel like the war is coming, and I think this invisible HOH was the perfect timing for all of this.
How about you, Cheyenne?
I'm feeling kind of bored. This week was boring. I'm still mad that we don't know who the HOH is. Kiefer's boring. It's just like, and Vic didn't really give the goods, and like she's my favorite, and I'm just waiting for someone to do something outrageous. I don't know. It's like good players are definitely boring, but the people who are boring me now aren't boring me because they're good. They're boring me because they're not doing anything.
How about you, Jeanette? How do you feel about everything so far?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I also feel like we've gotten so many like explosive weeks, and then like this week it's like, oh, okay. Like, of course that was gonna happen. If Austin had went home, I'd been like, yeah, that's on brand. That's on brand what y'all are doing. But I don't know. Bracing myself because this HOH might be exciting. Might be boring because I feel like Jed and Ty are going up if one of them isn't it. But
now, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong. From what I was seeing on Twitter, I think that they were saying that Victoria was the HOH. I could be wrong though. Is that confirmed or no?
I know that's a speculation. I know that's
Okay.
where all the buzz is at. I've been seeing a lot of that traction as well. But
Unless speeds have suddenly come back.
But we really don't know.
See, I think a lot of people are starting to get frustrated too, because we're seeing the feeds cut a lot. I know for me at least, because I had to watch feeds this week. I was trying to like prepare for like this podcast I was on for RHAP, and it was just like, because they kept cutting it every 5 seconds, and it just kind of became like a little unbearable. But I mean, I still follow through with it, so I just didn't know if I missed anything. But I mean, that's fine. So we did see yesterday that Kyle was the one sent home against Austin. In your guys' personal opinions, do you think that it was the correct move to send Kyle home versus Austin?
For Kiefer, probably yes. It'd be better to send. Well, no, actually, Austin was after him. Is after him.
I would say for Ro, it was a good move for Kyle to go because now Ro does not have a target on him. But I think a lot of people could have benefited from Austin being out the game because of how capable Austin is of winning these competitions.
yeah, 100%. I agree. I feel like because last week we were talking about how if Kyle leaves, then Rohan could be like, open to like make game connections and then like possibly make game moves. But yeah, I don't know. That's the only benefit of Kyle leaving for me.
Yeah.
It's kind of boring.
Yeah, it felt like a trick question because I've been watching Kiefer like be adamantly against Kyle staying. But the more I think about it, it's like, yeah, Austin would have been good for just about everyone. Ty and Jed would still be like hidden behind Kyle and Ro. Tara has, I think Tara's closer to Kyle and Ro than Brayden and Austin. I don't even know if Tara's close to anyone other than Tina. So it's just like very like, I guess he was very stuck on his ways, and I honestly wish everyone else had kind of just blindsided him and been like, we want Austin out.
Yeah, I think, and I was talking about this a couple weeks ago, but I've noticed with modern day Big Brother, tend to like almost like listen to everything the HOH says like it's like
Mhm.
law, and nobody really wants to go against it. Where like you see an OG Big Brother, US included, 9 times out of 10, if like the HOH has like a plan or something, they're like, "F that, I'm going to do what I want. Screw you." But even like post like veto, people are still like treating like these HOHs are like these like everything they say is fact, and if you don't listen to them, then like you're a bad guy. I think that it's possibly because everyone's like afraid of like, oh, if I treat this HOH wrong, then are they going to treat me wrong when I'm HOH? So maybe that's the idea behind all that. I don't know, but I'm not too much of a fan of it. Jeanette, how do you feel about the way that people handle HOHs nowadays?
I just feel like it's boring, like, because sometimes the decision the HOH wants isn't even the one that's best for your game. So I feel like them doing that is just so like, at the end of the day, everybody's vote is their own. You know what I mean? So like voting how the house wants, how the HOH wants is just like, you got to think, the long term game, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always half of the people who are going to be upset. Like, let's go back to Vic's HOH when she claimed Kiefer was the target, and then Latoya goes home. Why should the people who voted for Kiefer to go home ever trust Victoria? Even if you tried that initial time, that one instance to be like, oh, this HOH was selling me some BS, so maybe I need to shift and kind of not just think the HOH is always going to have my best interest in heart. I don't know. I think Kiefer, him not putting up Vic in Austin was a good move because I feel like it showed the two people who got blood with him that he really wasn't on their head like that. And he put up two people who kind of crossed him, kind of didn't, and put Austin up as a backup. So I think it should help Kiefer, but other than Kiefer and Roe, it was a bad move, I feel.
Yeah, and it's another thing where Kiefer does this like feedback loop where he said, or a lot of HOHs do it when they're like, oh, I'm going to do what the house guests want. Everyone's saying your name. I'm going to do that. And it's just like, well, we found out this week he used that as an excuse, but no one was really going with that.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying Vic. So it's like, if you were really going after the house guest vote, you would have said Vic. But oh, I did find out that the feeds were back on, and a lot of the house guests think it's Vic, and they're thinking, yeah, and they're saying that if she doesn't go up, everyone's gonna pretty much think it's Vic.
Okay, so I mean that's interesting. I mean Victoria's been getting like these comparisons to like Zach Rance and all these other sporadic players. So I mean, I personally like Victoria, and I think it's gonna be a little entertaining. Jeanette, you got different opinions.
I didn't like the Zach Rance comparison. That was like,
why?
Because he was just like, he was a crazy player because I feel like he was being puppeteered. I feel like Victoria's just making moves just to make moves. Like there's nobody pulling her strings. So like that was a weird comparison.
No, that's fair. No, when I look at Zach Rance, I thought he did like have intentions to do certain things. Like even like he tried to set Derek up, but he just got caught and he didn't know how to handle adversity well, in my opinion. But I see what you're saying. So I definitely get that as well. But moving on from that, so another thing that I guess following into this week, last week it was firmly like Team Oddball versus like Team Sunsetters, but like coming into here, we're actually starting to see like it's not really like as like strong as we thought it was. Like honestly, if there's a distinction of who the Sunsetters are, I guess you would say it's like Ty, Jed, and like Beth, and then the oddballs I guess would be like Austin and Braden and like Rohan, maybe
I feel like Kiefer is more in the Sunset.
Oh, Kiefer too. Kiefer as well. Kiefer as well. Sorry about that. But we're starting to see a lot of people start playing the middle. Like Tina and Tara are definitely trying to like bounce from side to side wherever it's convenient for them, as well as Victoria's just kind of just like out there. Cause she started oddball, but like she's kind of like gravitating towards the Jed and Ties of the world right now. So I don't know. In you guys' opinion, where do you think the power is lying? Eliminating the whole HOH factor, since we don't really have 100% answer on who the HOH is right now.
In a weird way, I think it's gone back to the captains, Tina and Kiefer. I feel like they're kind of in the middle of things. They could go either way, but I feel like if someone has both of their votes, then they're gonna stay.
I
No,
hope I agree.
yeah, that's a great take. I feel like that makes it easier not having an HOH because there's nobody you have to kiss butt. You could just like talk to people that you talk to, try to get to know other people more, just like have more conversations. Because like
Mhm.
anybody could be HOH, so everybody's just trying to be nice to each other. So I feel like that's easier than just focusing your energy on one person and trying to make sure like nobody else is pushing you. I don't
I
know.
think that's assuming that these people want to play Big Brother. And when they knew the HOH this week, they still didn't really talk game with Kiefer. Like the only people who
Mm,
talked with him were the same people who always talked to him. The people on
Yeah.
the block and Ty and Jed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a big thing that especially with this cast, everyone's just kind of like self-interested and kind of just doing their own thing, which is fine on the entertainment value. I personally I love the messiness. I think it's very it keeps me in because I mean I'd rather see at least this kind of like unpredictable Big Brother versus like one person controlling everything and everyone else being like bottom tier level player. So I mean it depends on the day for me, but specifically to bounce off of what you guys are saying, I think specifically Tina, a person who honestly, if she woke up one day and like wanted to take control of the game, she really could. But
Mhm.
she's not. And honestly, she's kind of like holding like her partnership with Tara to like a high placement. And Tara's not that good of a player, and she's kind of like off the rails and stuff. So it's gonna I'm afraid for Tina because I think that this is going to potentially backfire on Tina eventually. Just being affiliated so strongly with Tara, everyone's putting those two together. They're not saying Tina or Tara; they're saying Tina and Tara when they're talking about like votes and stuff. So
right.
I don't know. Do you think Tina should be like taking the game by the horns, or do you think Tina should just continue what she's doing right now, Cheyenne?
I it's like for Tina's game, she should probably keep staying low. But for my life, for my entertainment, she needs to grab these fools by the balls and twist them and be like, listen, you're my bottom bitch, and this is what we're gonna do. She has the capacity to like rule everything from the
Exactly.
shadows, and it's just like instead she wants to complain about who's using condiments
Yeah, I don't
and if
think she.
slop cookies are too
No,
spicy.
I don't think she feels comfortable as like the actual leader. I think she is in. I think she's way more comfortable in a position of the secondary person who's telling the person who's acting as the leader what to say. And I think she's not flexing that muscle on Tara enough because Tara thinks she has that much power. Like Tara has the power of being in the middle and really being a pointless HOH. So Tara has the position that a lot of people should want to be in, but Tara doesn't know how to use it effectively. And I think Tina, if she was a better player, to me, because you wouldn't be sitting back as calm as Tina is. I know you want to let people go home as they need to go home, but like we said, she can actually take control of this game. But the fact that she could take control through Tara, because Tara's not scared to say things. So all you got to do is feed all your information through Tara, and if the blowback happens, Tara's going to get hit, and you're not. But I don't know. Tina's in a good spot, but she needs to do something.
See, the only issue with that though is I think Tara isn't. She's not that good at social game, honestly. Like, we're starting to see comparisons to like almost like Christmas, almost where it's like she feels like I don't know. She pushes super hard when she believes in something. Like I think we saw that with Kiefer when they have their like pre-90s alliance. They were trying to discuss on like who should leave and stuff. And Tina was just letting Kiefer and Tara just like talk. But Tara was like, no, we need to do this. And this is why we need to do it. And there's no other counter off. Like, like she just like when she comes at you is like at 100 and it's like it's Tara's way or no way, and I also think she's starting to rub a few people the wrong way, like Ty and Jed and stuff. People are like, "Why are you approaching me a certain way?"
Isn't that somebody you want to take to the end?
Yeah, no, I totally don't disagree with you. I'm just saying you got to get there to the end. Like,
yeah, but if you basically, if you weaponize Tara as knowing she's gonna be not a jury threat, and that most people are probably not gonna vote for her, if you can I won't say help her game a little bit more, help her get farther. And if she gets farther, you're probably going to get farther as well. And if you're sitting in the end, it's locked in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would require Tina to be a bit more heartless. And right now, I think she sees Tara as like her literal only friend.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But so it's not like she's going to send out Tara and be like, oh yeah, makes things really awkward between Vic and Austin so that we can like break up the other side and they'll come to us. They're just going to be like, wow, no one's
Right.
talking to us.
But I
Right.
feel like she has the ability to do that, and she won't. She won't.
Exactly. Like that's the issue. Like Tina has this ability, but like you were saying, Cheyenne, I think she does consider like Tara like her only real close friend. Like I think early on we were seeing her like almost have a grip on like everybody. Like everyone was like, I like I like Tina, but like now people are starting to see her as a pair with Tara, and I think that Tina kind of like let go of a lot of the control she initially had, where like she had the Sunsetters, but now the Sunsetters are like, oh, she's playing the middle, and now Tina doesn't really have a say when it comes to like decisions with the Sunsetters, you know, or even with the oddballs. Like we don't really see like Brendan and Austin and them like really looking to have Tina involved in a lot of the decision making. They just kind of do their own thing, where I think beforehand Tina was like, she had a say with a lot of these things and people were like listening to her. Now they're just kind of like, I hear you, but like, you know, like they are kind of just seeing her on like an equal field, where before she was kind of like the leader, you know. So I don't know, if she can grasp back on those like social connections that she did have, I think that she can be in a very dominant spot again. But until then, I don't know. I'm afraid for Tina a little bit, but that's just me.
What's crazy is that Tina, like, she kind of floated away from the Sunsetters just because she felt like she was being controlled by, like, Toya and stuff. And so she kept going on about how she didn't want to be a follower. She wanted to be, like, in on the discussion. She wanted to help make decisions. And now she's literally, like, put herself in the position that she was scared of being in. And so I'm just like, what do you want now?
So other than like TNT, I mean, like we were saying, there's a lot of other subgroups here, like Austin and Brendan. I mean,
wait.
I don't know.
Brayden.
If we're going through
Brayden, yeah.
pairs, I have more things to say about Tara.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm greatly annoyed by her. I feel like she's on the show to do like, if she doesn't have a mommy blog, then she's there to get a mommy blog, and she's gonna try her best to have a mommy blog. And I'm like, she was so upset when during like I think the Wednesday episode when Rohan won the Canada vote to like not be on slop. Her face when he won and not her, I was just like, what are you expecting? And like coupled up with the first couple of weeks of her talking about not being on camera and no one likes her compared to Tina, I'm like, this obsession is very Christmas like. And the thing that she's missing that made Christmas like someone that people wanted to take to the end is that at least Christmas could win competitions, or she had the force of everyone dropping out for her to win a competition. So it's like Tara's got none of that. She doesn't have the backing socially, and she doesn't have the backing physically. She just has like a lot of freaking mouth that no one's really into.
The good thing about that is it don't matter, because if they waste the HOH on her, they're kind of throwing their game away. That's the backwards part about all of this. She kind of sidestepped her way into this position by mistake, and now if they go for Tina and Tara, they actually might throw the game away at that point. Either side, the eyeballers or the Sunsetters, because you let the other side keep a number.
Right.
Well, go ahead, Jeanette.
I feel like though, if they take out like Tara, like to not get any blood on their hands, and that's their easy option to take out Tara, I feel like that would get Tina upset, and then suddenly like Tina will step into her Comp Beast era, and like I don't know. So do you think just like how Rohan needed Kyle out for his game to progress, Tina might need Tara out?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ty, Jen, and Beth are already talking about bringing Rowan as a fourth.
As they should.
But
Yeah.
they just shit on this man. Like,
Look, they did the same with Victoria. Like people have very selective memory when different people are in power, and if it benefits you, like I said, this is a very self-interested cast. So, I mean, it's very unpredictable what they do every week. But to your comment earlier, Cheyenne, if it means anything, I'm pretty sure Tara said that she was a Christmas fan coming into the season in the interview. So I can see that would explain a lot. But Braden Braden and Austin are also another pair, and I think actually a lot of people, at least in the fandom, are starting to give Braden a lot more respect as a social player, because I think people are starting to see that he is actually really good with speaking to people. But he's not good with like the strategy side. Like he doesn't know when and when not to like talk strategy when it's so he has the basic when it comes to like talking to people. But he might be lacking there a little bit. I don't know. That's my personal opinion. And then Austin, I think Austin kind of is like holding him back, but I don't know. Ganja, how do you feel about Austin and Braden?
I agree with that, but I also feel like it's a double-edged sword for Braden because he can use her as a shield. Because if they ever go up on the block, Austin's gonna go home. Like that's fact in the house. I feel like they're gonna save Braden. But if Austin leaves, Braden is a free agent for anybody to pick up, and everybody's gonna want to pick Braden up because I feel like they see how loyal that relationship is, and that's important in the house. But one thing about Austin that surprised me was earlier on when she was HOH, she made a comment about how Beth was her ride or die, and Braden was somebody she's just been cool with from the beginning. And I wonder if she still feels like that. But I believe if Austin leaves the game, Braden will be in a way better position. But he's already socially good because nobody wants him on the block. So it's kind of like, hopefully if she leaves, he actually turned on that strategic gear, because you have to be strategic to have a social game like Braden.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think the big thing for me was I think when Kiefer called Braden up to the HOH room just to like basically hint to him that Austin was gonna go home, and he was just like, yeah, I might put Austin up. Like, I don't want you to be mad at me. He was like, oh, okay, I don't care. Like, so like that shows me that Braden is really just there for himself, which is great. Like, keep doing that, but like eventually you're gonna have to turn it on, like you're saying.
Right.
Austin definitely just needs to, like, I don't know, she needs to do something because I think she's struggling a lot here. So after that, you got the what are people calling them, the thruple, I don't know, with Ty and Beth and Judson. Jeanette, how do you feel about the way that they're maneuvering in the game right now?
I feel like with that thruple, all right, we've been talking about duos, so let's just like take Beth out of the equation for now.
Okay.
I feel like every like pair you can see who needs to leave for the other one to progress. But with Ty and Jed, they're like, I don't know. I don't want to say they're the same person because they're two
Diamond window.
men, but they're like, in my mind, they're the same. Like,
Yeah.
if one leaves, it's gonna have the same effect as if the other one were to leave, in my head. In terms of throuple, oh my gosh. Jesus, I feel like if Beth left, nothing would really change unless Jed is in. Unless Jed is like really in deep, then. Unless Jed is, I'm sorry, more people keep.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Unless Jed is really in deep, like in like with her, then that might happen. But I feel like if it were Jed and like Ty and Beth on the block, Jed would be like, all right, voting out Beth, and then next week would be business as usual. But I feel like it'd be interesting to see one of the guys there with Beth and the other one getting sent home, and then seeing how they would turn on the strategy and like how they would maneuver through the game.
Yeah. I feel like either of the guys being left with Beth would be actually more of a target than them as a throuple, weirdly enough. Mm-hmm. It's like right now everybody wants them as a throuple, like wants to work with them, whereas if Beth is just with one of the guys, they look more like a couple, and that's almost more threatening than a duo. I also personally think that Ty would thrive 100% without Jed. Even with Beth, I feel like Ty has a better chance of winning the game without Jed compared to Jed winning without Ty. But yeah.
I have a question.
Why do you feel like that though? Because Jed's won a comp and Ty hasn't.
Mhm.
So like in my mind they're autonomous, but like I
Mhm.
could just be like overlooking something that you're not.
Oh, just strategically, I feel like Jed's the one who was really like, oh, let's make a pact with the boys and go after the floaters. He was also the one who was like, someone said my name, let's call a vote. He's also the one who's like, oh yeah, Kyle threw your name out, but it was a great pitch. It's just like he's very much not always thinking, whereas Ty's always a bit more strategic. And even if he doesn't win a comp, it's like no one's personally after him. It's Ty and Jed.
Okay, I can get that. Yeah, I understand that because he's always trying to call a meeting, and that rubs people the wrong way. So yeah, I can see that.
If I hear them threaten house meeting one more time, I'm gonna just
I'm turning into Shia LaBeouf. Just do it.
I think Kiefer did that too. He was like, "I'm gonna call a house meeting." I'm like, "You like come now?" Ganja, did you have something to say as well?
No, I was about to ask, like, why hasn't the thruple been targeted? Like, I was thinking back to, I guess, Latoya still being in the house, and Latoya went home first out of that situation. But why wasn't the actual thruple targeted in that situation?
I think that originally, I do think that people were going into this week wanting to do that. I think the issue was that the oddballs kind of self imploded, and you got Victoria kind of going rogue. You got the minute the other side won HOH, everyone just kind of blew up. Like I said, Vic went rogue because Kyle and Rohan were throwing her name out as a counter offer. Tina and Tara were never really like oddballers. Like they were just kind of like there lingering, doing their own thing. And then Austin and Braden are very self-interested players, and they already didn't like people like Victoria. So like the oddballers, I said oddballs. The oddballs were really just kind of created to be in opposition for the Sunsetters, where the Sunsetters is actually more of a loyal foundation. Honestly, they more so are there for each other, and like we saw with Latoya, would like put their games in jeopardy for each other, where the oddballs are honestly just there for themselves, and if it's for them, then they'll work together. But it's like the oddballs honestly isn't really like an oddballs alliance anymore. It's just a name at this point.
Wow, it's crazy. It was like poof. It was like they came together to protect themselves, and then literally, like you said, once one of them did not have power, they crumbled. And it's actually unfortunate because you do want to have a opposition to the other side, but the Sunsetters is only 4 people at this point, so it's like a 4 stack versus a 2 stack versus a 2 stack versus a 1 stack versus like a 1 stack. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it's a lot of different entities, a lot of different type of
Oops. And we have seen, oh no, you're good. And we've seen stuff like this before in Big Brother history. Even going into US, like Big Brother 6, you got the friendship, and then you got the other side. And literally the moment like I forget their name, I'm so sorry. But literally the moment like Howie got his HOH, like, he got manipulated into blowing all that up. Or even in Big Brother 20, you got the Falte Alliance, and then you got level 6, and level 6 were down to, ride or die till the end, where Falte was literally just kind of created to be in opposition, and you saw how bad that went, so it usually happens. Like it's rare to see like 2 alliances kind of be like ride or die to the end. Usually just one is ride or die, the other one is just kind of like oh, I'm not included in this alliance, let me make my own alliance just to go against them, and it just blows up in their face. I don't know.
So
I searched up the name of the alliance. It's like pretentious as fuck.
So let's say Ty and Jed don't go on the block for this invisible HOH. What is their plan? Who should they want to target?
If I'm Ty and Jed, I'm trying to take out anyone that I'm not actively like working with. Like they don't have a deal with Austin and Braden. They don't have any active off deals with Rohan either, or Tara, to be honest with you. They really just I wouldn't do anything to Vic, I wouldn't do anything to Tina, I wouldn't do anything to Kiefer and Beth, because they have something with them, where the other people, they literally have, like, they're not inclined to keep these people protected. So that's what I would do. But the season's shown that the logic of common sense isn't really there. So I don't know what they would do.
Yeah, they've been talking about Austin and Vic. So I think if either of them won Secret HOH, it would be one of those two at least.
Okay.
Yeah, this season's actually starting to remind me of Second Chances of Survivor, where it's like the voting block stuff, and it's like each duo is a block. Because right now I was just reading like the feeds updates, and it's like Keith, Vic, Tara, and Tina just said that they're the four to the end. Braden and Austin just asked Ty, or not Ty, just asked Ro what his final four would be, and he said that he would like to be with that duo and Tina or Tara, doesn't matter which one. So it's like everyone's kind of saying that they'll work with everyone, but then behind their backs being like, Vic said, like, I would put up Ro, and it's like, well, we don't know. Okay.
It's a lot of he said, she said,
Yeah.
But okay, so I have a question regarding alliances. Who do you think has like moving forward would have a better strategy of like who like gets targeted next? The oddballs, or the people that were in the oddballs, or the Sunsetters?
I think the Sunsetters are always gonna be targeted because they're just so blatantly obvious with the four, the throuple, and then Kiefer being like so ride or die. So I'm gonna say the people who were a part of the oddballs, only because I think Tina specifically like has options. Like her and Tara can hop from both sides. So for now, them, but I can see that changing depending on who wins HOHs every week.
I agree with that opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's like the Sunsetters, they're so connected that when it would be time to like make the best game move, if one of them had to go out, it would be a hard decision to make. Whereas the oddballs, they'll turn on each other. You know what I mean? So I feel like,
But I don't think
It's also
the remnants of the eyeballs will forget about the Sunsetters. Like, I know they might not trust each other, but I think they're self-interested enough and savvy enough to come back together to be like, oh, we gotta take some of them out. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't think they're not on their trail, if that makes sense. Even though like they're a strong opposition, I think they still kind of waiting to take their shot.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's also crazy how like the people with the power are also the people who've been on the block, really. So it's like it's hard to say what Jed and Ty and Beth would actually do because they've never been able to do anything. So it's like, the oddballs have a better chance of winning, basically, especially since Kiefer can't be next HOH.
Yeah. So lastly, out of the people that in the cast currently, the only people who aren't really in a duo is Kiefer, Victoria, and Rohan. Now, as it seems currently, I mean, Kiefer seems like ride or die Sunsetter right now, but he also has a side thing, the pre-90s alliance with Tara and Tina, but I don't know how much weight that holds. Like, he seems very loyal to the Sunsetters, right? And then, like you guys were saying earlier, it seems like the Sunsetters are trying to pull Rohan in. I don't know what Rohan's movements are going to be after this, but he also has options. What do you think, Jeanette?
I just feel like he's the most flexible right now because he was just like Kyle all the way. So now I feel like if they happen to split into like, what are we at now? Final what? 10?
Yes, 10.
12.
10, yes. 10.
Oh, what?
10. 14
it was
people.
14, and 5 got evicted?
4.
Yeah, it's 10. It's 10. No, you're good. You're good.
Final 10. If it were to happen where they would, they don't know who the HOH is. So if it were to happen where they're split down the middle evenly, I feel like, and the oddballs regroup and the Sunsetters regroup, I feel like he would have like the ability to like, flip back and forth and be the what is it? I'm blanking right now. But the one that switches the vote. Swing vote. There you go. It was S word. I was like, what is it?
Yeah, but it's interesting that so many people are actually about to shift. I feel in the game because even though Tara and Tina are like kind of chilling right now, they're gonna have to go against the Thruple at one point.
Yeah.
So when they create their opposition, hopefully Rohan can slip right in with the position they were in and kind of help that boat get to selling because Rohan's best interest is kind of to stick with the eyeballs plus Tina and Tara, but also get protection from the Sunsetters.
Exactly. And lastly out of the people is Victoria. Victoria is a wild card, and I don't really know how to figure out where she's going to go because she's literally all over the place and changes her mind like every 5 seconds. But I mean, it seems that even though Ty and Jed like her, like they're still willing to get rid of her. And I don't think Beth. I can't tell if Beth is the biggest fan of Vic or not. But then you got Tina and Tara, who seems to be good with Vic, and then you got everyone else, like Rohan and Austin. Austin and Brayden don't really like Victoria, but they're still like they're what's the word, cordial with her. So it's like Victoria is such a weird player to watch because like I don't know like how to project where she's gonna go, and especially since she keeps winning competitions, even if it's true with the invisible HOH. If she won that, that's what, her third comp win already. So it's like it's really hard to figure out where Victoria's going. But Cheyenne, how do you think Victoria will do in coming weeks?
Okay, so I'm heavily biased because Victoria's like my avatar in the Big Brother house. Like I feel like she's me playing. And with that in mind, the girl is going to go home the second she can't win a competition. That's just for sure. At this point, her biggest ally is probably Kiefer, and she's like maybe fifth or sixth down that line. Brayden and Austin were talking about how she's the next third of their like little group to go home. No one's really got her back except Kiefer, but Kiefer's also got a pretty big, like a pretty big influence over the house, even though he doesn't necessarily feel that way, just because he has been on the block pretty often. So, all in all, I feel like if Victoria can make that deal with Kiefer, Tina, and Tara, then that would solidify her to the like next half of the game. But if literally Ty, Jed, Austin, Beth, anyone else wins, Ro even, definitely Ro, they would throw her up and she would go home.
She just has to stick to something. That's what Victoria needs to do. She needs to just actually lock something down. Like even if it's fake, you know what I'm trying to say? Like even if she's like just doing it for a couple votes, she just needs to lock it down because she's going to be expendable to people, especially when it gets dicey down the line. If she's not protected, she's going to be just thrown away.
Yeah, because she's definitely burnt that bridge to Ty and Jed when she was like, Ty's going up if Latoya goes down. Like, no matter how much they hang out together from now on out, they will not trust her. So it's like she kind of needs to leave that alone.
She needs to find a number one because I think that's the only thing that's holding her back from like really being able to like stay established in something. Like we see everyone else that's like in a foundation has at least like a duo partner, and then there's a people in the middle like her and Rohan and Kiefer, but like I don't see those three at all doing anything until they get a new partner. Like Rohan had Kyle, but Kyle's gone. So it's like those three specifically, but mainly Victoria, definitely need something. Like they need to find something. Honestly, if I was those three, I would come together and create something, but they don't have common sense. And Kiefer and Rohan, I don't even think like each other. So we'll see. It's a messy house, but that's the way that the house is looking currently. So lastly, what I want to do is I know you guys don't usually do this, but every time I stream, I like to do these because I am a addict of ranking things. We're going to rank the players who currently and see what they're doing. So S is basically insinuating that they're like in a masterful power position, that Dr. Will type thing. No, I'm kidding. But they're killing it. And then D is like, what are you doing? Like you're trash right now. So with that, we could just get through these 10 people real quick. So Austin, Austin right now is the first one that we're going to rank. How do you guys feel about Austin?
I think
Good.
in the middle. B.
Yeah.
I was
Like
thinking
She's
of
got
C.
comms.
yeah, if she just steps up her social, I feel like she could do really well.
I say C only because the duo she's in, her duo partner's in a way better position. So I think if she could turn it up competition wise, same situation like Vic, the moment she does not win competition, she's gonna go home. But I'm okay with putting her in B2, but
I can go with C. I can see how a
We
lot
can
of
do
people
high
are
C
doing
for
better
now
than
if you
her.
want. Yeah, so we could do high C for now. And if it makes sense later, the changes can be made, so don't even worry about it. Next is Beth, and Beth is, like we said, in the throuple. She's protected by Ty and Jed. I don't think Austin is not. I forget which side is it. Is it Beth that doesn't like Austin? No, it's Austin that doesn't like Beth, and Brandon
Yeah.
also doesn't like Beth. So I mean, she has a couple of haters. Honestly, like she's projected, but like she doesn't. She needs to honestly talk to more people. I think her and Tara had like a good connection originally, but like they did not like keep that. So like I don't know what to think of Beth. What do you guys think about Beth?
I'm gonna say because I last heard Tara also talking crap about Beth, I'm gonna say that she's below Austin on C.
Okay.
Wait, but she's also in a throuple, so I'm like,
But I feel like
I
in the
don't
throuple,
know.
she's the thruh in the throuple. I feel like Jed and Ty would be fine without her.
Yeah, that's true.
But what the question is, what would the house feel? Would the house want to take Beth out or one of those two? That's the question.
That's a good question.
I feel like they're better liked. The guys are better liked than she is. Because I feel like she gets under people's skin because she's playing the game. You can tell watching the feeds, she's playing the game. She's trying to be super social and it's rubbing people the wrong way. Like hugging all on Austin in bed, and Austin just looks super uncomfortable. And she's done that with other people in the house too. So I just feel like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that would be like 3-6 or something. So I would say Beth would go home over Austin.
All right.
There we go.
So I'm gonna put not that. So we're gonna put bottom C for now. Next is Braden. Like I said, Braden it seems very well liked. I don't really see a way Braden goes currently. I think Braden is socially and position wise in a really good spot. Just needs to talk game and actually like make alliances and stuff. But how do you guys feel about Braden?
I definitely feel like he's a B. Like he's doing a little sleeper cell. I don't know if he has the capability. Well, Canada does have crapshoot comps, so there's always potential. I feel like he has a few ways to go about his targets without people like being super mad at him. So I would say B.
I will concur with that B because I feel like we don't really know. He's obviously good socially, but we have never seen Brady without Austin. Like even early on, he had Austin and Julie in his squad, so he might actually be a social butterfly. It's just he likes to hang out with Austin right now. So I'm good with putting him in B.
All right.
Oh my gosh, I feel like y'all are tough because I was gonna put him in A unless he steps up the strategy. But
I mean, hey, what's your argument for it?
well, I feel like he's really good socially. I feel like if it were to come down to Austin actually being the target, he would be able to talk them off the ledge without putting the target on himself. But I feel like he just needs to step up the strategy. So that's why I wouldn't put him in S. But his social is good enough for me personally to have him in A. Like compared to everybody else, he's an A. Like I feel like A is gonna be empty. A and S are gonna be empty.
I have a couple of people I would put up there.
All right, so you want to keep him top B or
top B is fine.
or bottom? So I mean, we could do a vote. So what you say? A.
I'm outnumbered. Top B is good.
All right.
I will put him back A. Like if he was like the last A on the list, I will put him.
So all right, you're saying that you're open minded to the more people we put on the board.
Yes, we'll see. Yes, we'll see how it looks.
So next is Judson. Judson. I mean, Thruple, win comps. Yeah, like I don't know, like I mean, he also has the Sunsetters too, and it seems like at least between him and Ty that it seems like they're kind of like going through this power struggle right now between the two of them, like a inner battle. But it seems like at the moment, at least, Jetson's kind of like a little bit more ahead when it comes to influence in comparison to Ty, where Ty was a little bit more ahead earlier in the game. But yeah, how do you guys feel about Jed?
I have a comment on what you said earlier. I feel like because like I've been thinking about it, and Cheyenne made an excellent point. I feel like Ty is better strategically, so I feel like he's letting Jetson do that because the more Jetson is doing that, the more he's digging his own grave. So if both of them are on the block, Jet is going home over him.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm just overthinking that and giving him too much credit.
No, that's I would see that. I see that same notion through Ty. I think Ty understands the relationship he has with Jetson. I think that's why they're so comfortable because they know they're big targets. But I think he knows once they both go on the block, the other one will be in a way better position. And I think he understands that he's more likely to be the person that stays. And that's another reason why I feel like, I'm sorry, Shane. I just feel like that's another reason why I feel like he's okay with letting Beth go kind of towards Jetson. So we're talking about Jetson, right? Though I would put him in B though, if we're talking about Jetson.
Yeah, no, I would put him in A just because I can see him having like longevity. Like he has the potential that even if he does go up, he'll get the POV. No one's really like so mad at Jed that they'll backdoor him. I feel like he has A potential.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing, guys? Are we doing A or are we doing B?
Well, Isaiah, what do you think? What do you think Jed's got?
I mean, look, it's not my place to influence y'all list. This is y'all list.
I was gonna put him in C because I strategically don't see what he's doing. I feel like he wants to be next to Beth, so put him next to Beth. Like I feel like their games are equal. The only thing is he has a bestie in the house and she doesn't.
So we got an A, we got a B, and a C. If you want my input, I will put him bottom B. I think Jed right now, if it came down to him and Ty, I do think people would be a tad bit more threatened by Ty since he seems game savvy. But I do think that people do like Jetson. But like you guys were saying, Ty, it feels like he could potentially switch it on. My only issue with Ty is I think that he makes some bad decisions when it comes to strategy at points. But we can get more to that when we get to Ty. But for Jed, I don't know. Like I personally see him like the number 2, but right now, like I said, currently he seems like a number 1. So like I would put him in a B if it was up to me. But like I said, this is not my list. This is y'all list. So I will put him like behind a Brendan. No, but so. Ganja said A.
I said
A.
Cheyenne to A. Ganja said B. And Jeanette said C.
I think the average is out to B, right?
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, a low B. I can
B.
compromise with a low B. But that means we're moving Braden up when we get back to that because there's no way.
Maybe I think so.
So next is Kiefer. Kiefer just coming off his HOH reign. He got his target out. I mean, he's a part of the Sunsetters. He's a part of the pre-90s. I don't think people really respect Kiefer, and he doesn't really have a say, honestly, when it comes to these decisions. And it feels like people are comfortable using him as a pawn when it comes to getting people out. But with that being said, he is, I think, in the most alliances after Tina. So, that's something. I mean, his social work game definitely needs a lot of work. His strategic game isn't that bad, but he just doesn't execute it correctly, in my opinion. But Kiefer is an interesting one. Where would you guys put Kiefer?
Damn.
I literally would put Kiefer in B with high potential to even get to A.
What is going on here?
I just don't know Kiefer's win equity at the end. That's my whole thing. Like I think he can get there just because of how the moves he make. But I feel like I don't know if he can win a game. So I'll put him in B.
Kiefer is doing so good. I would put him in S tier. He
Wait.
is like, who's going after Kiefer? Austin?
Wait. I feel like Austin and Vic win at HOH and they have a target. They're printing up Kiefer no matter what. But that doesn't mean the house won't flip on that. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, he's made moves that helped him, but those moves have also greatly benefited his alliances. I feel like he's being the middle child a lot. He's just cheating a lot. But I don't like to say that because you don't know like the inner turmoil and like what the person's thinking like throughout the game. I don't, he just rubs me the wrong way. Like week 1, he was calling Austin and Victoria a bunch of bitches. So like I can't get behind him.
I don't know. I mean, as someone who can call each and every member of this cast a bitch, I just feel like Kiefer's playing a much better game than you guys are giving him credit for. Like, he's got his core 4 with the throuple. He's got Tina and Tara. He's got Vic. Like, the only people he doesn't really have 100% are Ro, Austin, and Brayden. And he worked out something with Brayden, so I don't think Brayden would put him up. And I just feel like Kiefer is doing kind of the best tier of everyone. Like, he's winning comps, he's got the best resume, he's doing well, and he's got just enough people in front of him to like not be immediate target. Like, he can settle down, ride out the next couple of weeks, and then pop up again. Final 6, win to the end.
But do you think they're gonna put respect on Kiefer's name? Because that was really my biggest gripe with Kiefer's position. I think he's positioned to go pretty far, but I don't know if they're gonna respect anything that Kiefer's doing. I personally would, but I'm not in that house, so.
Okay, well, I mean, if you're gonna put it like that, who is respectable? Who are they respecting in this cast? They're not respecting Tara.
Brayden.
They're not respecting Vic. They're calling Tina a flip flopper. Who?
Brayden.
Who
I
are they
think
respecting?
they respect Brayden.
If Brayden doesn't win anything, they're not respecting Brayden.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
So,
But
I mean,
in a
yeah,
universe, I'm sorry. I was
No,
gonna
go.
say, in a universe where Brayden never touches the block and somehow like wins a comp at final 6 and then makes it all the way to the end, they would respect that.
That's
so
true.
here's a question. So Cheyenne saying S, Ganja saying B. Jeanette, where are you thinking?
I really don't like Kiefer. I would put him above Austin though because I feel like he's better socially. But
C.
no,
Okay.
low B. I'll compromise with a low B.
You
Well,
guys are haters.
that averages out to like a top B then. You got an S tier. You got an S tier. So it averages out.
Come on,
gotta-
put him in A. Put him in A. No.
I don't know. We gotta move Brayden up because I don't like him.
Kiefer might be an A anyway. We'll see.
Listen, next time y'all on here and get Sarah's opinion because she can drop that and be tiebreakers. So I can't.
What did Brayden do to be so great?
His
I
position.
feel like, yeah, he has a great position.
I'm so a big proponent about positioning and looking forward in a longer game. Because you can be looking at the threats in front of you right now, but once those threats are gone, what decision are you gonna make? And I think Brayden is setting himself up to not be on anybody's radar anytime soon. So it's like we kind of are scared that he may not be able to turn that strategy on, but hopefully by that point in the game, he sees enough to be like, oh, I can actually start making moves that actually get certain people out. So that's why I believe in Brayden.
Real quick, I mean, this doesn't have anything to do with the list, but Joseph has said the have-nots were selected, and it is Austin, Brayden, Kiefer, and Victoria. So
can you pick yourself for have
one of them is most definitely it. I believe one of them is most definitely it. They have
take that as
Could
you
you
will.
pick yourself as a have not? Because
I would.
I think you might be able to. You might. I don't know.
I'm a good chef. I don't know. I feel like I could handle slop.
See,
Dang,
I
Brayden's
feel
getting
like
the third time for half an hour.
if it's Ty or Jed, there's a high chance that they'll put up Austin and Brayden.
Only time will tell.
I feel like for the game, it would make sense.
So next is Rohan. Rohan just lost Kyle, but now, like you guys said earlier, he is free to move as he will. He's still good with the oddballs to a degree. Now the Sunsetters are trying to pull him in. He's honestly a lot of optimism with Rohan right now. I don't know what he's going to be able to do, but he has options. So how do you guys feel about Rohan? Where do you want to put him?
I would put Rohan in front of Austin in front C, only because it seems like Rohan's name has been like out a lot, and I don't know if he's going to be able to like really take that out of the ether. But I also don't think he's their number one target to take out on that side.
Jeanette's eyes blew up. What's up, Jeanette?
Oh, I don't know why I did that. I actually agreed. No, I agree. I feel like he's a high C. I feel like he's well positioned to where he's like a wounded deer, and he's like, "Hey, I can't do anything. My partner's gone. You all have your partners. Like, it's not like, you can use me as a number." But I feel like he won't know what to do with it, and he'll just get sent out in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe first juror, second juror. Yeah.
How about you, Cheyenne?
Yeah, I know that Kyle leaving is supposed to be better for his game, but Ro isn't likable. So I'm gonna put him at D because I also agree I can see him going in the next 3 weeks. He's been on the block, what, 3 times? He's been on slot like 2 times. It's just like no one really likes him, which makes him an easy pawn, which makes it easy to make an argument for him to go.
So are you all agreeing on D, or are you guys? Is anyone because I know you said C?
No, he can go to D. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
That was some good points.
All right. Rohan
Very
is a
good point.
D-lister.
Also, here's my
Sorry,
cat.
bro. Hey, little kitty.
So we got 4 people left. So we got Tara. Tara right now, I don't think a lot of people like Tara in the house, but she is partnered with one of the more likable people in the house, and Tina. So I mean, that's honestly the only thing really going for Tara. I mean, she has done lines with Kiefer, but I don't know if Kiefer even likes it. I don't know if a lot of people like Tara, but she, as long as she's attached to Tina, she will probably be there for a while. And people are going to talk to Tina and go to Tina for votes, since she is one of those middle players like we discussed earlier. And there's a lot of swing votes when there's 2 distinct sides, so like trying to pick each other off. There's always going to be swing votes. They're going to be protected because people need them. But how do you guys feel about Tara?
I would probably put her between Brayden and Jed just because she doesn't have a high chance of going home anytime soon.
Okay. Jeanette?
I'm so confused. I don't know what the criteria for this tier thing is anymore. Maybe I'm just thinking more personally. I personally don't like Tara. I would put her in D. But strategy and placement, she's definitely placed herself with somebody that people don't want to upset. So I would move her up to mid C, like between she's better placed than Beth, because Beth is like in a throuple, so like people are always gonna target her, but like not better placed than Austin, or actually above Austin. Yeah, I feel like she's better placed than Austin because of Tina.
Ganja?
I agree way more with Jeanette on this situation. I do believe that if she just didn't say a little of the things she said, it's actually a lot of the things she said. If she just didn't say certain stuff, she would be in a way better spot. But I do believe she's just like, I feel like she's disliked less than Beth is, but I don't think she can win competitions like Austin. So I would slap her right in between Austin and Beth.
Okay. So seems like you guys round out to like a C. So
Yeah, I'm definitely judging this off of who I think is going to make it in the next couple of weeks, not on who I like, because then this thing would look upside down.
yeah,
Well, actually, I don't like Rohan. I don't like a lot of these people, gotta be honest.
Say the best for last, right?
So the last 3, Tina. Tina, honestly, like we said, is in a great position. The issue is she's not taking the game by the horns. She's not calling the shots, and that's gonna it could potentially hurt her game if soon if she doesn't really she needs to really like take a side honestly, and or if not that, she needs to like be a part of these decision making processes, as well as going back to like focusing on a lot of her relationships, and like like Tara's yours. Like no one's going to take Tara from you. You need to definitely look back into the ties and Jed's, because like you're losing them. And same with other players. You know, she needs to go back to building up her relationships. But how do you guys feel about Tina? Where are we putting Tina at?
I personally, you don't throw her an A?
Yeah, I actually
Who's
agree.
A tier? Who's
Nobody.
A tier?
I don't think anybody. And I don't want to interrupt your replacement, but I personally will put Tina right after Brayden, in between, Brayden and Jessen, because I feel like Tina is positioned well, slightly better than Jed because she's not getting targeted, but she's playing the exact same like Brayden. Basically, like, they're both just not doing anything. So I feel like we can't reward potential versus, I guess, situation. But I think Brayden has more power or more potential to have, I guess, agency. I guess we can't use potential, but I think he has more power in the situation.
I agree with A, but it's conditional. I feel like Tina and Brayden are two people who have partners that are bringing them a bit down, which is why they're getting lower placements. But I do agree Tina's A, but I feel like at least put Brayden in front of Kiefer. Like, that's just bothering me.
But are we doing this relative to other players, or like just
relative to
of
other
all
players.
time? Because if we're doing all time, they're all D-list players.
You're so funny.
No, I think relatively, like in the house, Brayden and Tina are definitely better positioned.
Yes.
But they do have partners that bring them down a bit.
Okay, if it means Tina's an A, I will support a lower A Brayden.
I'm good
So we're
with
moving
that.
Brayden up, and then we're putting Tina up with her.
I'm okay with that.
I've never felt so much secondhand disrespect.
I'm okay with that.
So the second to last is Ty. Ty is in the thruple. Ty is a big guy and probably could be a comp beast, but we just haven't seen it yet. And Ty seems likable, and I think a lot of people like him, but he's in a thruple very publicly, and I think a lot of people see that. He's not really he lost the power honestly with Beth, because Beth is more so leaning towards Jed. But I do think, like you guys said, Jed and Ty possibly would pick each other over Beth, judging by the conversations that I've seen had by them. So I don't know. I mean, Jed makes some questionable. I mean, I said Jed. Ty makes some questionable decisions when it comes to strategy, but he could turn things around potentially with certain circumstances. But where do you guys think Ty should go?
Gonjo.
I'm putting Ty after Kiefer, because I don't know. Like, okay, Ty is positioned kind of well, even though the thruple is a big target. I personally don't think Ty will be targeted over Beth or Jed. I think the closer they get, the more the house are going to want to break them up. So I feel like he's a little bit in front of Jed, but I just don't know if Ty can win comps. Like, I don't know how many comps he's actually competed in, like besides like HOA. I don't think has he played in any vetoes?
Yeah, he played the veto that Jed played.
Mm-hmm.
He also played that veto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't see him really doing too much on a competitive situation, and his alliance members are carrying the comp wins. So I'll put him after Kiefer. So after Kiefer before Jed. MB.
I'm like switching my mind around a little bit, because I know I said that Ty is probably like the better player, but I think as of right now, Ty might actually be after Jed, just because I was reading some feed updates and they were like, Austin and Brayden were talking about how Ty is always smiling and how it looks very fake. And we know that Tara's got her like racist microaggressions. So I think that if like Ty and Beth were up or something, that Ty may go home. So I would say that Ty's after Jed.
All right. So it seems like you guys. I mean, you guys seem like you're like on a B. Am I hearing that right?
Jeanette,
And then we're.
I
we
can put
didn't
my
really.
yeah.
I'm trying to figure out a way where they're next to each other and they're equal.
Oh.
I mean, you could put Ty
Honestly,
next
it could
to
go
Kiefer.
either way.
Yeah,
put Ty next
I
to
don't mind
Kiefer.
either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're interchangeable. Yeah,
Put 'em in
it
the
don't
middle.
matter.
All right.
Perfect.
And then lastly, you got Vic. Crazy Vic. I mean, Vic, like we said, does what she wants, but she is a challenge beast. And if the rumors are true, she potentially, allegedly, big word, allegedly won the Invisible HOH. So, yeah, Victoria, good with challenges, bad with everything else, but that's okay because she is very entertaining for us. But I mean, honestly, on a serious note, like Victoria, not the best social player, not the best strategic player, but she. I mean, can we really say that? Because technically she should have left last week. I don't know. Anyway, it's up to personal opinion. But she's all over the place. Long story short, we don't know where the game is going to take Victoria, but she's hard to project. But where are you guys feeling about Victoria?
Comp points alone, I gotta put her in B. Like, I just
We're talking about
I just don't think she has longevity. I kind of want to split these guys up in here. Like, I think she deserves to be in front of at least one of them, but I don't know. It's just the sporadic nature of her game that scares me. And like,
Yeah.
I think even though she's playing a little wild and spicy, she's still better off than a lot of these people. If I'm gonna be real, like she has tentative places that she can go home, but more of the game will be not targeting her. So I will vote to put Vic in between Ty and Jed.
Unfortunately, I think she's probably behind both Ty and Jed just because everyone's willing to put her on the block. And she was only saved by the grace of Kiefer.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like placement wise, she's gonna have to comp rent to the end to actually get to the end. So I think placement wise, again, I'm saying placement wise, I feel like she's the biggest target in the house currently. And she would have to be a D for me. But like then you think on the other hand, she maneuvered it so well where she gave Kiefer a plan, put him on the block, said, "Trust me, you're not going home." He stayed. He repaid the favor by not putting her up. So I feel like that was socially and strategically a very good sign that she does good, but I feel like she's not predictable. So like people won't be able to trust her. But then also she's one of the only people that's not in a duo. So like that doesn't make her a target because you put her up, who are you putting her up next to? So that would make her a B. But also
All right.
I don't know.
So I mean, I guess what I'm hearing is low B.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? All right. So there is your rankings for at least for you guys of the curtain people. I personally, if this was mine, I wouldn't even have anyone in A. I think they're all playing so bad, but that's fine. We have a lot of this is an unpredictable season, and they make a lot of unpredictable moves, so it's kind of hard to read where they're going to go.
If we look at it, the two people that are in A are the two people that's not playing the game right now.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's completely fine. Like there's no right or wrong answer here. Honestly, like it's super unpredictable.
To be fair, I wanted Kiefer in S. So,
but there you have it. That's our episode for today. So we're just going to start closing things out. Ganjo, where can people find you?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at Ganjo the Dank 2. That's Ganjo the Dank 2. Shout out to y'all. I tweet kind of crazy, but it's fun stuff. So follow me.
You're streaming now, right?
Yeah, I'm streaming now. Oh yeah, I'm streaming at the Monarch Game on Twitch. You also can follow that on Twitter too. The Monarch Game. That's my mini. Shout out to y'all.
All right. Cheyenne, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on YouTube and Twitter Twitter and Instagram under Cheyenne New with a K because I knew things. I'm also on Twitch under Chai Weather because tea is always year round. And yeah.
All right. And Jeanette, where can people find you?
I'm sorry, I'm like freaking out. Your curtain's moving and it looks like you're like getting zoomed in.
No,
I'm
it's fine.
tripping right now. But on Twitter, it's Jeanette's Eviction. So my name S Eviction, and then on Instagram it's Earth Person. So like Earth Purse on, and also on TikTok because I'm trying to get over there also. But yeah, that's me.
All right. And like usual, you can find me on Twitter and all socials at 8ballbangers, literally with the number 8 and then ball bangers. And if you're listening to this on any other platform, Silent Podcast on YouTube, tomorrow we should be seeing Carrie joined by one of her guests to talk about Circle UK. And on Monday, hopefully, we were supposed to last night, but things changed. Monday or Sunday, we're gonna have the next Whole Drama Island podcast out. I know people keep DMing me and asking me questions about it. I'm sorry, it's been a hectic week, but we're gonna get it out. And then all the other shows will follow after like usual. But those are our next 2 shows. So yeah, until next time, have a good night, everybody, and
Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday! I was waiting to say it. I wanted to say it at the last second.
Happy birthday.